Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us on the live stream and on this pretty momentous day for us, at least anyway. We've got a lot in store for you, so we can't wait to kind of get into it. So today's the big one. After, what is it, two and a half years
actually, yeah.
Felt longer.
Of operating in stealth mode, we are finally at a stage where we're ready to show you guys the launch of our brand new platform, Avidio. So I would imagine there's probably a few of you now in the audience that are wondering, where's the big stage? Where's the dramatic lighting? Where's the dramatic music? Well, we've decided to go in a different direction. So as you can see, we are doing it podcast style in this lovely cozy studio. The idea here is that we want to have a very open and candid conversation with you folks tuning in the audience about what it is that we've built, how it works. We have a lot in store, by the way, for you in terms of how it works, and most importantly, why it matters. And I think if we've done our job correctly, you guys will wrap up later on thinking, wow, these guys have built something that is going to change the way people think about personalized, wide-scale outreach forever. With that being said, I'd like to perhaps start with a round of introductions. So my name is Mina. I'm the founder and the CEO of Avidio. Joining me are my two lovely co-founders. So Kay Bossator,
hello.
Namir Andrews,
Hey.
CFO and CTO of our company. An interesting tidbit, actually, for you folks in the audience. We are lifelong friends. We've known each other for since we were children, basically, yay high.
5-6 years
It feels
old.
like forever, to be honest.
It does. And you know the first rule of business, they always say, don't go into business with your friends and with your family. Well, look, it's been just over 2 years, and we've not killed each other just yet, but there's still time.
Yeah.
Okay, so in addition to the founding team, we also have some really fascinating guest speakers that will be joining us a bit later. They're currently backstage getting ready. So these two gentlemen, I won't give too much away just yet. These two gentlemen have been huge advocates of Avidio, essentially from the beginning. They've also been early adopters of the platform, so they've got some super interesting stories that they're going to share with us a bit later. And they're just all-round great guys. So again, I won't give away too much just yet, but we'll be speaking to them later on. Now, I want to take a couple of moments to tell you a bit more about Avidio. And I'd like to start by answering what I think is the question most of you in the audience are asking, which is, what is Avidio?
Who we are.
Yeah, what are we?
I know what a video is, but what is a video?
Good question. So, thankfully, the answer to that question is relatively easy. It's relatively straightforward. So, Avidio is a platform. In actual fact, it's the first platform of its kind that allows our users to create what we're calling ad-style videos that are hyper-personalized to hundreds of contacts, all completely automatically. And the easiest way to kind of think about this is think of a video as, this is how easy it is really. Think of it as contact data in, hyper-polished, ultra-personalized videos out on the other side. And we've built it intentionally, actually, from the ground up to be able to work for any use case imaginable that requires or that that fits the brief of a person wanting to reach a wide group of people in a personalized way. So that's a video. Now I'm not going to get too deep into the feature set. We're going to cover that a bit later on. What I want to do now, if it's okay with you guys, is I actually want to pause. I want to rewind a bit, and I want to tell you more about the backstory.
It's quite interesting, to be honest.
It really is, actually.
Yeah.
So this all started, contrary to kind of popular belief, not out of some kind of crazy hackathon, or the idea for a video wasn't scribbled on the back of a napkin in some fancy cafe or wine bar in Silicon Valley, as you would expect for a bleeding edge company.
I've never been to Silicon Valley, but I'd love to go.
Very good, thank you for sharing. So, no, it wasn't born out of any of those things. It was actually born out of something much more, what I would say, relatable, okay? And that was frustration. Specifically, frustration with how normal outreach had just seemingly stopped working. Almost, it seemed like overnight, didn't it?
Across the board as well, not just
board.
in one industry, in multiple industries, even in the finance industry for
Correct.
us, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
So in my case, the story basically went. I was before founding Avidio, I was working for a very large kind of global cloud communication company. I was running sales for a pretty large team, 12 or so very seasoned sales executives that spanned everywhere from Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, India. So as you would probably imagine, as you would probably expect of a team of that caliber, we would do everything very much by the book. So what I mean by that is anytime we had an event or a networking session or a meeting, we would obviously want to follow up with our customers. And we wanted to ensure that every time we communicated with a customer, it met the following requirements, which were, one, it needed to be really well researched. You know, we needed to have done our homework before we sent anything through. Yep. Two, it needed to be really well written. So that may sound easy, but actually a lot of the folks in my team, English wasn't their first language.
Even if it was, I think that's quite a skill set that not a lot of people have.
Yeah, totally agree. It's tough, actually. And then the last one, this was kind of the closest to my heart, which was all communication needed to be as personalized as humanly possible. Now, I'll be honest, you guys, we had done this. I had done this with teams I've been managing for a long time, and it had always worked. We'd always seen pretty healthy results, is probably the best way to put it. And then somewhere along the lines, I think it was about 2 years ago, somewhere around there, it stopped working. And we really couldn't understand why. It just out of nowhere, you know, even existing customers of ours that we've known for years, we'd try and reach them, personalized, well-written, well-researched communication, and we were getting crickets. You know, we were getting radio silence.
I recall you mentioned that you're saying, you know, even your existing customers weren't responding to your email campaigns.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising, actually. It was an interesting time, and it required multiple follow-ups, even with existing customers, to finally get through to them. And it's interesting. So I started to wonder, you know, why is this happening? You know, what's causing this? What suddenly changed that's resulted in this new kind of behavior? And after I'd given it some thought, I began to realize that it wasn't that customers suddenly stopped caring, because it's unlikely that people would change that quickly overnight.
Yeah.
I think actually, interestingly, ironically, it was the breakthroughs in AI. It was kind of Gen AI coming onto the scene, which was supposed to help with things like this, that was actually causing the problem. Now, let me kind of explain to you what I mean, because that may sound a bit confusing. So when Gen AI came onto the scene, it suddenly made outreach infinitely more accessible to
easier
people.
and faster.
Much easier, yeah. So whether it was somebody just looking to get a template to send out an email or a LinkedIn message, or whether it was outreach automation, suddenly Gen AI was giving birth to lots of outreach technologies that hadn't existed
Every man
before.
and their dog launched an AI company during that
was
boom
doing
phase.
some form of outreach. That's right.
Yeah.
So
It was an interesting time period, to be fair.
it was super fascinating, just kind of understanding the mechanics of what was happening. So with more outreach, with outreach becoming more accessible, there was more of it happening. And as more of it was being sent into the cybersphere, it was becoming more and more saturated, okay? Because all of it was essentially all sounding the same. It was all very templated. I don't want to say generic, because it was in many cases it was personalized, but it all sounded the same.
Yeah, it became somewhat of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
You can have all this personalization that could be done, but then it all end up sounding exactly the same.
Yeah,
it didn't really make any sense.
It had almost the opposite of the opposite intended effect.
Yeah,
Everybody's turned into a bot.
Exactly.
Essentially,
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a nice segue to the next interesting phenomenon that I noticed, which was people began to tell the difference. People can spot the difference between an AI-generated message, whether that was on an email, whether that was on LinkedIn, or pick your medium, and a message that was actually written by a human. And then what began to happen is people would read, recipients would read any communication that comes to them, and if it seemed too polished, they would automatically make the assumption that it was written by AI, even if it wasn't.
Yeah, even if it was a real human who wrote it. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
so sad because then
Spend
your
all this
skill set is
time.
going undervalued
Yeah,
and you're being
correct.
ignored for being too good.
It does a real disservice to those people that are fluent in
Spending the time as well to write
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
well crafted
Yeah.
outreach messages that just
Exactly.
go ignored.
And what's interesting, I think most of us know that it was sent by a human, but just the fact that it sounded like it was written by AI makes us not want to reply back.
Or written by a professor.
Even if the content in the message feels like it was relatable, there's a resistance to want to reply back.
It became easy to ignore it for sure.
Correct. So the question, obviously, then the next question was, well, what do we do about this? How do we fix this problem? So I actually ran an experiment in my team at my previous company. So I had asked the team to send out personalized videos instead of written text-based communication, just to see. Because I'd always thought to myself, video is always a medium that seems to not seems to break out of the mold. People seem to respond to it pretty well. It's pretty engaging.
It's unique.
It's unique, yeah. I mean, most of us even instinctively know that a video is much more captivating than something that you read.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we tried this little experiment. So I had the team, over the span of a couple of weeks, send out these personalized messages. I think it was following from an event that we had run. And the results, honestly, they blew me away. In my 12 or so years running sales teams, I'd never seen results like this. We saw an 8 times improvement in conversion rates. Wow. It was phenomenal. It was like unbelievable.
Yeah. I remember when you told me those numbers, it's actually what got me interested in the project.
Yeah, exactly. The problem, though, that we learned very, very quickly is that video doesn't scale very well, if you haven't guessed, which is the reason I would imagine most of you have never received a personalized video message. Yeah. And you end up getting kind of more canned text-based communication. So, and the reason for that's pretty obvious. I mean, just take the case at my previous company. For every contact, we'd have to do our homework. That's okay. We were doing that before on them. We then had to write a script of what we wanted to say to them over video. We would then have to record ourselves, and let's be honest, it would often take multiple takes. Nobody gets it right the first time around, and then we'd have to edit it. And then, of course, we couldn't just send it in isolation without any context. We still needed to have some text-based communication.
Type out the emails.
Yeah, to go along with it to kind of explain what to expect within the video. And we had to do that for every individual contact. I mean, just saying it is exhausting.
And how would you then track if it's been watched?
Exactly. Yeah. So it became very apparent that it doesn't scale. And then this is actually the turning point that led us to asking the question that basically resulted in the formation of our startup, which is what if there was a way to use the magic of personalized video but without any of the manual work? And what if we could somehow create hundreds, potentially even thousands of these videos in the time it took to boil the kettle? So look, spoiler alert, that's exactly what we've done.
We've achieved it.
We've achieved. But we didn't quite know that at the time, or certainly I didn't. So I had to enlist and recruit some help. So this is when I first turned, I think it was to you and me, wasn't it? And I said to him, I've got this idea. What do you think? And it'd be pretty interesting to see what your take was.
Was on it. I was a little bit worried. I didn't know whether you were joking or, I didn't know
out there,
whether to laugh or cry, to be honest. But yeah, I remember what you said to me, actually, to this day. I remember the pitch you gave me. You said to me, hey, here we go. I want to create hyper-personalized TV ad-style videos automatically and at scale. At which point, I think I just kind of stayed silent. I remember that.
Most people would,
it seemed like quite a challenge. And then I was thinking about it a little bit more. And, some of the first things that kind of run into your head is like, okay, what are the challenges associated with doing this? The first thing that popped into my head, okay, well, let's kind of break it down a little bit. Like, what does this require? You have to take in the raw client data. Then you have to generate unique scripts for every single contact. Yeah. Then you have to start building out all of the visuals that go around it. And that includes things like profile photos, company logos, names, job descriptions, phone numbers, and so on.
I have to say, hearing it back now, it does sound ludicrous.
Thanks. And then stitching that all together and creating a polished, professional video as the output. And not to mention doing all of that in minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So, a very easy task that you gave me. It seemed impossible at the time. But luckily for us, actually, the timing was a little bit in our favor because, as you mentioned, during that time, generative AI was really booming. And there were so many different models and platforms that do many different things. And we instantly realized, okay, we can definitely offload the research and the script generation to AI.
Yeah.
So that's one box that was ticked. However, obviously, that still wasn't that easy. We had to do multiple revisions of prompting. It had to be 100% accurate, regardless of the type of company, the industry, if it's B2B, B2C. So, we had to make sure that that was right.
Yeah,
and
the scripts, even before we got to the video curation, the scripts had to be like spectacular. They had to meet the brief that I gave earlier, like well-researched, well-written, hyper-personalized, and all the rest of it. For every scenario.
I remember when we started nailing that, we started getting excited because we're like, look, whatever I put in, it's giving me like great output. But the real challenge, to be honest with you, that was a challenge in itself. But the real challenge was actually when it came to the video rendering and development. What we were looking to do at Avidio is to create really unique videos for every single person that is going to be watching them. They must be rendered in real time and they have to be perfect. You can't damage the brand in any way, right? Because if these are going to be generated automatically, what we wanted to do is stay away from AI randomness. And we didn't want the user to go in and edit in post-production, right? That defies the whole point of having the platform. So we decided that we needed to create our own video engine. Now, we did that. We have a coded-based framework. Now, it's built on templatized layouts, and it uses different variable components that could essentially adhere to any scenario, regardless of what you're trying to pitch or what you're trying to do with the video, it will work. And that has actually what has really become the IP of a video. That's what I'm really proud of.
The secret sauce behind the platform.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the misconception, because I think a lot of people see the first impression that I think most people will have is that this is some kind of AI. It isn't. It's not the AI that's generating. The AI is doing the scripting, sure, which is one small part of the workflow, but the actual video curation is our own proprietary IP that we've spent years building.
Yeah, I mean that really is the most important part, because the videos have to be perfect. And they have to be reliable every single time. We couldn't afford any failures. And unlike other tools that try to mimic real humans, we've looked at that, right? They go down the kind of uncanny valley territory. When you as a user see an AI-generated video, it's AI-generated. You actually don't want to listen to what they're saying. Because it's not a real person. So that brings no value to the message.
I think we spoke about this a few times with regards to other platforms. We're doing exactly that. You'd shoot your own video, and then they'd just overwrite your lips, and the audio would be overwritten.
Like lip sync.
It just looked fake. You can tell it was fake because the lips just weren't moving in line with
that
the speech.
I remember us kind of workshopping this in the early days, and we kind of realized we have to go a different direction. We can't try to emulate like an avatar or a person in a video. That's too. That's what everybody's doing. So we went with that's another cool kind of differentiator of our platform. So we went down this route of saying, okay, we don't want to emulate a fake person.
No.
But we want it to look like a TV ad, like a commercial.
That's
because nobody was doing that.
That's really what sets us apart. There's nobody else that's doing this.
Correct.
And the whole kind of point of us trying to be sleek TV ad, commercial kind of videos, is that it really hits home, and it looks professional. So, and it looks honestly, a marketing team has literally created that video for that one individual person, specifically tailor-made. So once we had the groundwork laid out, our next focus was on the design aspect of it, right? Okay, so we have this video platform, but we needed to focus in on, the layouts, the pacing, the sound, the fonts, everything. We needed it to be able to be on brand so that the user can essentially set their brand scheme, and then every video will follow that, in terms of the guidelines. And honestly, this part of it took us just as long to develop as the actual platform itself.
It's so important to have that wow factor, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Make sure that
they need to be fully polished videos, like we said a million times.
I'm excited to show the examples later on, but you get what we mean by that. And now a video's video has quite a cool ring to it. I like saying that. A video's videos really look like they've been made by top tier agencies. Every single one of them. If you're sending out 100, every single one of those 100 contacts is getting their own TV ad style video tailored to them specifically.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And that consistency was no easy task. Yeah.
That's why it took us 2.5 years.
I'm glad the camera's facing this way so you don't see my bald spot from the back.
Yeah, we've all certainly aged a few years.
Of stress
since,
and a lot, yeah.
I think, you know, and it's really like what you said, Mina, right? Like, very simple client data in, magic polished videos out.
Yeah.
But as good as all of that is, right? Like, if it wasn't commercially viable, guys, we wouldn't really be here talking. And I am not suited to go through those numbers and figure out whether or not this sort of business model will work. And that's really where we had to get the professional help from Kay. So Kay, maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about how you made this actually work.
I mean, that was that's probably not as fun as you guys playing around with AI and all these different softwares, but somebody had to do the boring stuff. So yeah, it wasn't an easy task at all because, as the guys mentioned, you know, being the first to market means that you don't really have any competitor to benchmark against.
Yeah.
The
We
best
had no
we can do
benchmarks.
is, I mean, all we could do is really have a look at other video generation platforms, but they're not really doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Yes,
there were
they're
so
in the
many
same
that the
space.
components of what we were doing. So one may be in one area, another one may be in a different sector, but there was no platform out there that even came
exactly
close
the
to what
same.
we were doing. So it was
No.
it was really challenging to
Yeah.
kind of figure out how we should price this. for our
Absolutely,
customers.
absolutely. And the worst thing is, even between the guys that we looked at, even they couldn't agree on their pricing plans.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
some of them were charging by the seat, some were charging by the minute,
Yeah.
some were charging by the video resolution.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought they're going to start charging me based on my age. You know, which actually would have been quite cheap. But we're not going to go down that road.
Let's not
you know?
go there.
Speak for yourself.
Go down
my
that
friend.
road. So what we decided to make away with all that mess and keep it simple. Yeah, a flat fee per video, regardless of the length.
Yeah.
So essentially, at the end of the month, our customers won't be hit with any surprises. Yeah, and the main thing we wanted to make sure is that if you wanted to generate 10 videos or hundreds of videos, at least it was going to be affordable, and you could get these production style, really powerful, engaging videos out of the other end. So I think for us, it was the main thing is that whether you're a small startup that want to send 10, 20, 30 videos per week,
Thousands.
or thousands, or a large corporation
Yeah.
sending thousands of videos, in a single day, we wanted to make sure that these were
drive
affordable
value, yeah.
and accessible for everybody. And
100%.
that was the main thing.
We want to get it out in as many hands as possible,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where the real value is.
And I think actually on that note, do you want to maybe give the audience a little sneak peek into the price?
Absolutely.
Because I think that's probably something that a lot of
Absolutely.
people are going to be.
So I think this is the
listening
next
very
part
careful to.
where people are going to absolutely love. So after crunching all the numbers, we came up with the following price plans. But before I share, guys, just give us a little drum roll for this one, please. So we decided our prices would start from as little as 60 cents a video.
Say that again, Kate.
60 cents a video. You heard that right. So if that is not value for money, I'm not quite sure what is.
And also just to kind of to explain to the audience, this isn't how many times it's not 60 cents for every time you share it. No. You can share a video once it's created. Share it as many times as you like. It could be as long as you like. It could be whatever resolution you like. It doesn't matter. It will always cost you that fixed cost, irrespective of what you do with the video. In actual fact, you end up essentially owning those videos.
Yeah, absolutely. The minute you generate those videos, we will obviously deduct the credits for them. You can then use them in whatever way you like. You own that video. Even if your clients want to then reshare that video to their colleagues or to higher ups to get approval for whatever it may be, you've already paid for that. We're never going to charge you again for that video. It's essentially yours.
Yeah. So, and I think actually for us, that was kind of the moment. I don't know if you guys agree with me. That was kind of the moment where it clicked. Because initially we were thinking that a video is going to be a affordable video outreach tool. I think that's kind of essentially what we
More
thought it would be.
pigeonholed initially.
Yeah, but
it developed over time.
It developed over time, and as we added more capabilities and as we refined and made the price point more accessible, I think we soon kind of realized that it isn't just the outreach platform. It's essentially a fully fledged video communication engine, isn't
Absolutely.
it? The easiest way to kind of, if you're kind of new to this space and if you're wondering, think a production team and a creative agency all rolled into one in your back pocket without any of the overhead.
Yeah, tidy overhead. I mean, we still need to make some money, but
We need to make some money, that's true.
Yeah, nowhere is as close to the thousands of dollars you'd spend on an actual marketing campaign that's made, by
agreed.
an agency.
So look, guys, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think it's high time we stop the suspense and finally give you folks in the audience something to look forward to. So we've prepared a sneak peek into our platform. So we're about to roll a video that has that will show you the Avidio platform, as well as walk you through the steps required to create your first video campaign. And what you'll pay close attention to this, because what you'll see is you're able to create a campaign in the span of a couple of minutes. It really is that easy. So without any further ado, cameraman, roll the explainer.
Most outreach feels the same and is resource intensive, yet it yields low engagement and is often ignored or marked as spam. That's why we've built Avidio, a platform that makes campaigns fast, personal, and impossible to overlook. Start by naming your campaign, save it as something new, or spin up a saved template, pick your audience, B2B for business outreach, or B2C for customers, friends, or even family. Next, the script. Avidio's AI writes a unique, human-sounding message for every single contact. Or, if you'd rather, craft your own. Choose whether the video features you personally or just your brand. You can even fine-tune pronunciation to ensure every name is spoken naturally and spelt correctly. Next, choose your use case. Pitch, follow-up, reminder, or invite. Add your tagline, product details, media, and a call to action. The more you give a video, the sharper the personalization. Then, choose how you'd like to add contacts. Upload a CSV, import from your CRM or marketing automation platform, or pick from a video's built-in database. Once added, emails are automatically verified, so you only reach real people. Now the fun part. Pick an avatar and voice, or go further. Clone your own face and voice for a campaign that speaks in your exact tone. Style it to fit your brand with fonts, colors, and music. Add a CTA with a customizable QR code that can redirect to WhatsApp, SMS, and Deep Link. You always get a preview before rendering. Regenerate until it feels right, then watch your campaign come alive. And the video is just the start. Optionally, add automated emails with priming messages and follow-ups, each one personalized and ready to go. You can choose whether to run email campaigns or export ready videos to your CRM or marketing automation tools. Finally, choose how to render. Streamed videos generate instantly and cost 1 credit, but they take a few seconds to load and cannot be downloaded. Pre-rendered videos take longer and cost more, but they are mobile ready, downloadable, and look sharper with higher quality effects. Once you launch, the dashboard tracks it all in real time, from video views and clicks to QR scans and engagement. You can even export videos to your CRM or marketing automation tools. And best of all, instant notifications keep you updated the moment someone interacts. Avidio isn't like any other tool out there. It's a faster way to have hyper-personalized conversations at scale.
Guys, there you have it. That's how easy it is to create hundreds of personalized videos in the...
I mean, we did say it was easy, but I bet nobody thought it was going to be that easy.
Yeah, couldn't agree
It's
with
still
you
surprising when I watch it.
Yeah.
And when I actually use it myself, I still get surprised at what we've achieved, you know? Very proud.
It is something. But you know what, you guys? I don't think the magic in our platform lies with just how simple and easy to use that it is. I think that's obviously that's a core component of what we bring in terms of the value prop. I actually think the real value of a video sits in how flexible it is.
100%.
Yeah. So what we've done now is, for you members in the audience, we've prepared 4 very unique, very interesting examples of different use cases that all curated using the Avidio platform. And what we want to do with this is that for each example, we want to showcase the core use case categories that you would have just seen in the demo in real world examples. So that means everything from event invites to pitches to follow-ups to invites to reminders. We want to showcase 4 examples that speak to each one of those 4 key pillars, 4 key categories of our platform. Now, I want to just kind of preface for a second that some of these examples are for illustrative purposes only. So we've used some big household names, some big brands that we just felt that most of you guys in the audience will be familiar with. Not all of them, some are, but not all of them are existing customers. So please just make sure that you take that into account so we don't want any lawsuits or anything of that nature. And our first example is a really interesting one. So it's a B2C example. It's for an event invitation, so one of the core pillars. And it's for Gamescon 2025, which is gaining more and more popularity here in Singapore, where we're all based. Now, naturally, we had to pass this to our resident gamer. So I think, Amir, it's only best that you take the lead on this one.
Yeah, no, sure. So yeah, I attend Gamescon sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I like that. Sometimes.
I was going to say I sometimes compete.
Okay,
I don't get very far, but yeah. So in this example, just to kind of set the tone, as Mina mentioned, first of all, just a caveat, Gamescom aren't a customer, but what we wanted to do was put ourselves in their shoes. And we wanted to essentially think, okay, if I was Gamescom, how would I invite gamers to my event if I had access to a video? And this is what we've come up with. So please have a look.
Hi Avery, the team from Gamescom Asia here. Thanks for tuning in. We know you've got an unparalleled passion for gaming. Here at Gamescom Asia 2025, we've crafted an experience just for someone like you. Imagine stepping into a world where every corner pulses with the excitement of exclusive game reveals and heart-stopping esports action. It's not just a festival, it's your next adventure waiting to unfold. With that being said, we're thrilled to invite you to witness the future of gaming firsthand. Whether you're eager to meet the visionaries crafting tomorrow's tech marvels, or dive into riveting panel discussions with industry giants, we've packed this event with moments you'll be talking about all year long. This is your chance to be at the center of it all. Simply scan the QR code or click the button below to secure your spot now and become part of this electrifying journey. Thanks for watching.
So as you can see, the video is really impactful. And
I love that one,
and it's kept to Gamescom's tone and branding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's go on to our next example, a B2B example actually.
Yep.
So moving away from gamepads and onto phone screens. This is an example for a company called Vonage, a cloud communications company. Now what they're doing is they're promoting their branded calling solution to the heads of app development at certain companies. Now, I think Mina is probably the best person to actually talk about this, considering he did mention earlier that he used to work for quite a large company. Actually, is Vonage. So, Mina, maybe you want to introduce this one yourself.
Thank you, Amir. Thank you for giving the game up.
Yeah.
The game away. Yeah, I did. Yeah, so I worked for Vonage for best part of 8 years. Actually, that's where I was just before founding Avidio. And just as I was leaving, they had started launching a product, pretty revolutionary, pretty game-changing product called branded calling. It's basically a solution that allows a business to call their users through the app where the call is fully branded. Now, you can imagine that a solution of that nature, being a B2B technology, can be quite complicated.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite difficult to convey succinctly in most cases. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to show how a video can be used to take what is fairly complicated advanced technology and be able to communicate it to the viewer in a manner that's very digestible and easy to understand and very relatable.
Yeah.
So with that, ladies and gents, let's throw the video.
Hi Finley, the team from Vonage here. Thanks for tuning in. At Standard Bank, you're undoubtedly committed to setting new benchmarks in customer trust and service efficiency. We understand that in the fast-paced banking industry, safeguarding your clients' interactions while enhancing their experience is crucial. Branded calling from Vonage is specifically designed to address those priorities by ensuring every call is securely branded with your identity, significantly boosting customer confidence and engagement. With that being said, imagine how much smoother your sales operations could become if your clients recognized it was Standard Bank calling before they even picked up. By reducing the mystery of unknown numbers, you could potentially increase answer rates and streamline communication. And with our solution's secure return call feature, we can assist in trimming down call times while maintaining the personalized touch your customers expect. Simply scan the QR code or click the button below to arrange a time to see this solution in action. Thanks for watching.
And that is, in a nutshell, how easy it is to take what is a very complicated technology, and I hope you would agree with me, package it in a manner that's very digestible for the average person.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, even from a financial perspective, obviously a financial background, technology is not my strongest suit, although, of course, over the last 2.5 years, my knowledge of tech has gone substantially higher.
Yeah. Don't sell yourself short, Kay. You're pretty good, my friend.
I mean, I'm an intelligent person. When it comes to technology, that's when I usually call you for help. But that made it much easier to understand.
Yeah.
You know, I knew exactly what the product is.
Yeah, and I think that's big praise. I think that's the objective, isn't it? I mean, we want people to be able to kind of get the message pretty immediately.
Yeah.
And if that wasn't the case, then I think this technology wouldn't be as successful as we intend. So,
definitely.
Okay, so moving on, we have another example, another interesting example. This time around, this is, let me just make sure that I've got this one right. This is a B2B example for the unassuming event follow-up. Okay,
That's right.
So this particular example actually comes from one of our early adopters, a company called Hexnode, and we've got a guest speaker later that will be speaking more around his success story around this particular use case. The story goes, Hexnode often runs these large events.
Yep.
One of them, keep me honest here, guys, if I've got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the Retail Technology Show 2025 that they had
Yeah,
run.
that was it.
And as with any event, they had lots of visitors come and talk to them at the booth. But where they were struggling is getting those conversations and converting them to actual opportunities in their pipelines post-event. So this is when they approached us and they said, is there a way that a video can help? And with that, we told them absolutely.
Yes.
And we would help them with their ROI. And so the moment, obviously, I mentioned the term ROI, you have to pass the
numbers
to
guy.
our CFO.
The boring numbers guy.
Okay, I'll pass this one
I
to you
think I
too.
saw Kay's ears twitching.
Yeah, I was
possibly.
getting excited just thinking about it. I mean, look, at the end of the day, everybody knows attending these events is usually a quite high cost event. Yeah, you shell out thousands of dollars, and at most of the time you meet tons of people. You shake millions of hands, you get loads of business cards, but then post event usually is where most companies fall short. Yeah, they'll send one email, they don't get any returns from it. They think, okay, they're not interested, and they leave it. So what we decided with Hexnode is to try something different. We tried, of course, the Avidio way, which is to send these much more warm, personal, and proactive videos that are actually much more engaging, right? So what we'll do is we'll play the video and you guys can see what we mean. So please go ahead.
Take it away.
Hi Casey, the team from Hexnode here. Thanks for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you at the Retail Technology Show in London. We were particularly thrilled to engage with a visionary like yourself, steering the historic Jeeves and Hawks into new territories of fashion innovation. Understanding your deep commitment to quality and tradition, we see a unique opportunity for our unified endpoint management solution to seamlessly integrate into your operations, ensuring that security and efficiency complement your brand's excellence. With that being said, we would love the chance to delve deeper into how we can help enhance your digital infrastructure, streamline device management, and safeguard sensitive data across your enterprise. Tailoring a solution that reflects Jeeves and Hawks' dedication to perfection is our top priority, and we'd be delighted to discuss specifics with you. Simply scan the QR code or click the button below to schedule an online consultation with one of our security experts. Thanks for watching.
Now tell me that is not a million times better than an email.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It jumps off the screen.
Exactly.
To be honest,
Exactly.
I mean,
So-
if I got sent something like that, I would watch
you
it.
would watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
100%.
always going to be much more engaging than text-based follow-up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Regardless.
Yeah,
But moving swiftly on, I think we have one more in
It's
the
a
bag.
fun one, this one, isn't it?
This one is more of a fun one. So again, Domino's Pizza is not a client of ours, but what we have done is we've imagined this from the perspective of Domino's. So Domino's Pizza in our local town of Brighton, where, funny enough, all three of us grew up. Fond memories of eating those cold pizzas at university when we were doing the late double shifts in the libraries.
Yeah.
But basically, we wanted to just make it, like I said, a bit more fun and re-engage the existing customer base by saying, hey guys, have a look at this stuffed crust pizza that we've got. You know, it's absolutely delicious, cheesy, gooey, etc. But the main point behind the video was that if it doesn't arrive within 25 minutes and still in that same condition, it's going to be on the house.
Yeah.
So
it's about that gooey, cheesy crust. isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you show it to you in
The
the
crust
commercials.
has to come.
Yeah, you see it in the
gooey
commercials when they
melted.
pull it apart and the
Yeah.
cheese is all falling out and stuff. So that is a condition it needs to arrive in. Otherwise, it's not what they're selling in those adverts. So that's what we reimagined. But to bring this last slice home, I'll send it back to Nina.
Yeah, thank you, Kay. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a bit of pizza baked logic in their marketing? Now, this one really does. This really does remind me of the good old days when we, this is our local pizza store back in Brighton where we grew up, where we were, at university together. So this one's very close to home. So anyway, let's roll the clip. Let's take a look.
Hi, Morgan. The team from Domino's Pizza here. Thanks for tuning in. We know you've got a taste for the finer things right here in Brighton, so we're thrilled to remind you that our indulgent stuffed crust pizza is now just around the corner. Imagine your favorite pizza, but with a crust that's not just an afterthought. It's a golden ring of gooey cheese that promises satisfaction with every slice, crafted precisely to up your pizza game. With that being said, we understand life moves fast, and so do we. That's why we're excited to guarantee your hot and fresh delivery within 25 minutes. If we can't beat the clock, your pizza is on us. This means more time enjoying that cheesy perfection and less time waiting. Simply scan the QR code or click the button below to savor this delicious experience. Thanks for watching.
That brings us to the end of our 4 video use case examples. Okay. What is amazing, and I just want to emphasize this one more time, 4 very different examples, all built on the same platform, all built in minutes, and whilst you didn't necessarily see it in the videos, all designed to reach hundreds of contacts in each of their respective cases completely automatically.
100%. Yeah. That was the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A video, you guys, put simply, I'd like to, this is our tagline, so I want to make sure that we say a video is your narrative uniquely delivered.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
And we hope that you love it as well.
We hope so. So with that, I think it's high time we brought in some guest speakers. What do you think?
Absolutely.
I think so, yeah.
All right, let's do it. Over to you.
We've been really lucky to work with some early adopters. And they've been using a video in the real world, multiple different use cases. So first off, I'd like to introduce a man who's been able to turn SMS-based communications into flyer perks. I don't know how he's managed to do that.
Frequent flyers, frequent flyer points.
I don't know how he's managed to do that, but please welcome Andrew, founder and CEO of Chatti. How you doing, Andrew?
Very good.
Welcome, Andrew.
Good to be here.
Yeah. How was your flight?
It was good. Always good. It's always lovely to come back to Singapore.
Yeah. Thanks for making the time to come back. I know it was quite a journey for you, but we've actually been really excited to see you again because we want to hear a little bit more about what's been happening, behind the scenes and how you've been finding things. So.
Yeah. What have you been cooking, Andrew?
How long does this go?
So I guess, Andrew, just for the people at home, maybe just introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Look, Chatti is a cloud communications company. We provide all suite of APIs from SMS to voice, the whole communication stack. Yeah. We are based out of Australia. We got 2 major points of difference. One of them being is that we're in partnership with Qantas.
That's pretty amazing.
It is. We provide our customers with Qantas points.
Yeah.
So you can send communications and then the next minute, well, maybe not the next minute, but the next month, depending on how many you're sending, you can be jumping on a free flight.
So I can send a text message and earn points as a reward. It's like a credit card, but for SMS.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's actually pretty crazy.
It's easy as that.
Why haven't we started doing this?
I don't know.
We'll talk to Andrew later.
I think we need to talk. We need to talk later.
We can have a chat.
Yeah.
And our other major point of difference is we are in partnership with Vonage. So we're a global enterprise partner of theirs. And that gives us...
Andrew, sorry to interrupt for the audience, because a lot of them are probably thinking, they may have connected the dots. That's how Andrew and I know one another. That's actually through Vonage and through our relationship there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and look, that's how we met, and and that's been a great partnership for us. It's given us massive global scalability, and it's such a robust technology. Yeah.
It seems like you're actually quite a big innovator in your industry, because I have never seen SMS to frequent flyer miles anywhere before. Yeah, so you must be quite game changing in the industry.
I actually was catching a plane from Sydney back to Brisbane, where we're based at Brisbane, Australia, as I said, and I looked up at the Qantas logo and I thought to myself, I've always wanted to do business with them. And I thought, how can we make Chatti more sticky?
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to just call them. And they played hard to get. I had to call them many times, but we've got a great partnership and it works well for our customer base.
Awesome. You know, it's like we're trying to be innovators as well, and that's also we're giving that power to hopefully our potential customers. You know, and that's what Avidio really is. It's kind of changing how communication is done, especially on a large scale.
Yeah, allowing people to stand out, basically. Just what you're doing, I guess, in your field.
100%. So I guess, Andrew, I'm kind of keen to understand, you know, when Mina initially approached you, what was it that kind of piqued your interest in a video?
Yeah, so, you know, outreach. It's all about outreach, and it doesn't matter what size your business is, but in our case, we're growing rapidly, we're scaling, we need to be able to communicate to our existing current, you know, customer base, but also find new leads and new opportunities. And email, let's face it, it doesn't do what it used to do.
Dead in the waters.
Right? It's quite dead, and unfortunately. And I think it has its place still, but it definitely, as Mina said earlier, it just doesn't have the impact that it once had. So, look, when I heard about Avidio, I thought to myself, wow, you know, if we can create video at scale without having to go to an agency, I love the agencies we work with, but they cost me a lot of money.
Absolutely.
And if we can create video, everyone loves video, it's a great channel.
Yeah.
And that's where my interest came from. I thought, wow, if this does what you guys say it does, I'm in.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the agency, I mean, we use agencies as well, but agency is one video for everybody, whereas we have one individual video per person, right? It's not a one solution fits all. It's fully tailored.
It costs a fortune.
It's not only about the money. I mean, of course, money's huge, but it's saving you money and it's saving you time.
Yeah.
There is no way they can deliver a
And it
video to you
also
in a few
allows you
minutes.
to be control. Allows you to be in the director's seat, right? So I think you've ran a couple of campaigns with us. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about one of your recent campaigns and how it went.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the most recent campaigns we ran was a loyalty drive, really.
Yeah.
We would normally send, you know, an email, an EDM every month saying thanks for your business, and you've earned maybe, you know, 25,000 points this month.
Yeah.
But we don't know if people are really reading them. We might get a delivery receipt, but we don't really get any, say, two-way conversation from it.
Yeah.
So what we did is we used a video to create these individual personalized videos that said, hey, customer, Andrew, you've earned 25,000 points this month. And by the way, you've earned 250,000 for the year. You know, the points are not going to just use themselves. So it was not what we did in the video. We actually said, hey, don't forget, these points can get you a trip away this weekend, or it could be an international flight, or it could be an upgrade to your seat. So we reminded them the power of the points, which makes it sticky for us as well.
That's awesome.
Right, and that's the whole reason we did the partnership.
So cool. Yeah, that's such a clever use case.
Yeah.
So not only do they get updated about how many points they have individually, so every single video showed a different number, of course, for each client, showed what they can use it for, and just obviously just reminding them that, hey, this is the total balance that they have.
And it reminds them, hey, like this is a point of difference. This is why you do business with us. Yes, we do everything else amazingly as well, right? Industry leaders. But this is the cherry on the cake, and you should use these points. And the other thing that we did, which, you know, it's sometimes a bit hard to do this in the sense that it allowed us to do a bit of cross-selling. We said, hey, don't forget, because we know most of our customers might just use us for one channel, just like SMS.
Yeah.
So we went in and said, okay, these particular customers, we're going to say, don't forget, we've also got voice or ringless voicemail or video.
Genius.
And you earn points in all these other channels, so you could be earning more points.
I love that.
So
I love that.
it was a good cross-sell, but it
like
wasn't done in that cheesy sort of salesy way. You know?
You can't put that all in one email anyway. Imagine trying to
Nobody's
do the
reading
reminder and then cross-sell and do, you know, you can't do that in one message anyway, and it wouldn't work even if you could, right?
Yeah.
So having the platform of a video to be able to do that allows you the opportunity to be able to cross-sell and maybe portray multiple different types of messages in a very short space of time.
I love it. I just think it's such a smart use case. It's kind of saying, hey, Mr. Customer, we think so highly of you that we went to the trouble of making you a video and reminding you of how many points that you've accumulated. And if you would like to earn even more in the future, here's some other services that you may not be aware of that will help you do that. I think that's awesome.
You know, what we found is people responded to it. They didn't complain or anything. They said, thank you. That's great.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, so what the response was, people would actually reply and say
got some
thank you.
interest in it, and they asked about it, and that was good because again, from a customer loyalty and just keeping it sticky, it gave us that opportunity to have that two-way conversation with the client.
And I bet it also helped, knowing exactly who would watch the video that you sent out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Awesome. No, it sounds amazing. Thanks for sharing that. I guess just theoretically speaking, like for the future of Chatti and Avidio, what are the sort of plans that you have?
Well, we'll continue doing more of these loyalty. We'll be using it for sales, and we'll start to also use it for events as well. So we're about to start doing quarterly events in the main capitals of Australia. So we'll use this to personalize that message, and we'll also use it for post-event messaging as well, to say thank you for coming. And I think that's going to be another point of difference to use this. And again, I'm just seeing this as if I could have a video production team, what would I do with them? And now I can do that using
Absolutely.
a video.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, a production team and a creative agency.
Yeah.
In your
Roll
pocket.
into one,
Indeed.
But it's got call to action as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about that earlier as well,
Yeah.
right? We spoke about the return of investment on your events, and that is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't
100%.
agree more. Very good.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, Andrew.
No
it's actually
problem.
been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you, and thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Make sure
Andrew.
you stick around, Andrew, outside. We'll go for a few drinks after this session.
Thank you
It's
again.
not a bribe or anything. We didn't pay you to come, right? Let's just be clear on this one.
Thank you very much. We're gonna start getting into trouble.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you.
Yeah, and so we do have one more guest. I think I'll pass it over to Kay, close friend of yours, and yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So for this next guest that's coming on, and actually the last guest of the evening, somebody who's no stranger to driving real results within the industry, and somebody who's probably got the best post-event follow-up game now, after starting using your video, of course, that is. It's Tim Bell, Global Head of Sales for Hexnode.
Hey, Tim.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Lovely
coming,
intro.
buddy.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Again, wasn't paid to do that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tim, mate, thank you very much for coming and joining us today.
Great to be here.
I
Pleasure.
believe you've flown quite a way to be with us today.
A long trip, absolutely, yeah. A long trip from Europe, but great to be back in Singapore.
I bet it's a lot more sunny and hot here than it was in where were you?
It
Where you
is,
come
yeah,
from?
yeah. I was in Germany, yeah. So it's a bit of a change, but it's great, yeah. I always love getting back to Singapore.
Lovely. Thank you for joining us. So I've got a couple of questions for you today. Let's start with the first one, the most important one for those out there that, of course, don't know Hexnode. Can you just give us a quick intro about what you guys do?
Sure, love to. So yeah, Hexnode is a fantastic organization. So we're around for, I think, around 12, 13 years at the moment. Maybe just to relate to the industry is fascinating. It's kind of on the fringes of cybersecurity, which is all the buzz and the rage at the moment. But it's all about device management and, more importantly, the data that's on all those devices. And when I'm kind of looking at the demand out there across all verticals, we've customers from hospitality, food delivery, all the different hotel chains, all the way through to the corporates, you name it. Everyone needs to manage and control the data that's on devices.
Absolutely.
Devices are, so popular at the moment.
Data is gold at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. And I use the example sometimes of when you look at a hotel, years ago when you check into a hotel and the receptionist is there with the computer, and then it moves on to, now it's become more mobile, and when there's a queue of people checking into a hotel, they'll actually step out with a tablet. But customer data is on that tablet.
Yeah.
So it's crucial.
Very risky stuff.
Yeah.
It's also like, I don't know about you guys, but recently, specifically in the last 4 or 5 months, I've been so many people have tried to scam me via email, via SMS.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
I am getting so many phishing
There's a lot of
attacks
phishing
on
scams
me.
happening
I
recently.
think we need to maybe engage with you guys.
Yeah, but it also
absolutely.
goes to show, in a lot of companies these days, especially with this work from home policy, where you're using your own devices constantly, but you're having company information on it. It's never been more important than now to be able to kind of keep that under control.
Keep it
Yeah,
safe. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And using Hexnode, it just allows IT people to be able to manage teams all over the world, whether it's Pan-Asia or global, being able to manage devices that are just moving around. People are more mobile than ever before.
Yeah.
The whole area of BYOD, which is just ramping up like crazy as well. So it's essential. I mean, the data needs to be managed. And I think for me, and maybe just to kind of link into Hexnode's expansion, over the last year, we've been expanding into South Africa. We've got an office opened up in Dubai, Jakarta in Indonesia, Manila in Philippines.
Wow.
of course, we have an office here in Singapore. So we're open up in multiple locations. We've got a big footprint in the US and UK and across Europe. So
Truly going global by the sound of things.
yeah, it's been hectic, and of course with that, it's a lot of go-to-market activity happening in multiple places. So
That leads very well onto my next question, which is, of course, if you're opening in multiple markets across the world, you need some sort of engagement. You need to bring in new clientele and new customers. So I think obviously that's why initially we were speaking together and about getting you out there in the market in front of more people, and that's where the Avidio videos came in
Correct.
handy. So I think you obviously ran a campaign very recently. We spoke about that earlier, the event follow-up.
Yeah.
So just give us a bit more information about that and how the results were.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's for me, it's interesting, and it's just when I look at all the different go-to-markets that we've got going on, and the challenge, right? It's the age-old challenge. You're trying to get your message out there. You're trying to make yourself relevant in all these markets, and you've got your teams of salespeople that are desperate to get that message out there. But you're hitting a brick wall. And from the days of building up from phone calls to emails to video, and I desperately was looking for something that was, video, but maybe on steroids, something that can really make an impact.
It's a good way to say it. Actually.
Yeah.
Be our tagline, huh?
Video on steroids, yeah.
And honestly, when I looked at that, and we had a look at you guys, because I was almost giving up hope. I was just trying to search everywhere, all the way from the US, Europe, and across Asia, to try and find an organization that had a solution, and just couldn't until I came across you guys. So it's kind of cool. You don't know until you try it. So we gave it a go with a few different campaigns. We deliberately tried in multiple locations. So we did try in Germany, in our European region. We tried in Singapore and Asia, and we also tried in South Africa. But yeah, maybe just to focus on one event that we did down there, which was really, really successful. We had about, let's say, 14 meetings booking in just from running one campaign, which was fantastic.
And just put that in perspective, Tim, how much would you usually expect from an event like that?
2 to 3.
Wow.
That was typically the trend before, which, and I think I heard you mention earlier on, I mean, the amount of money that we were putting into events, and it's not just the cost of an event, it's the travel, the loss of time of the people that you're sending to events. So when we can run an event like this and then make sure it's the follow-up afterwards. We've gone to so many events in the last number of years in different regions where you go to the event, lots of conversations. In the old days, it's business cards. Now it's become, more social and online and digital.
In fact,
but still, where's the follow-up? So you need a solution where you can just very, very quickly do that mass reach out and the follow-up, and that's where you get the traction. And you can't leave it too long after that event to make sure you capture that conversation.
So it sounds like that event really, paid for itself. I think
Yes.
talking of ROI earlier, I think that's more than ROI. That's probably redemption for all these other events that didn't quite yield what they should have done.
Well, it is. It's the age-old conversation, right? When you kind of internally go to marketing and you want dollars to go here and there, whatever. And sometimes, whether it's salespeople, they want to go on a bit of a jolly, but the ROI has to be there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And it's having the key essential tools surrounding the event and after the event to make sure that you do get the ROI.
Successful, indeed. Tim, I've got one final question for you, and then I know you're a busy guy, so I'll let you go after that. What is the future for you in Avidio?
Well, look, after the initial, I guess I wouldn't call it trials, because I think they were more than that. So. But I would say after having a look at the product and using it in different locations, I see so many different applications, whether it's product, new feature releases, getting it out through partners, out to end customers and so on, or marketing teams. We're looking to really expand. We'd love to expand into Thailand, Vietnam, and multiple new markets. But we could use a tool like Avidio to really warm up markets in advance of the salespeople targeting in. So it can be used in many different ways like that, as well as our outreach. But I mean, I think that the tool itself is quite cool. It's just it's got so many different use cases across our organization.
That's great to hear. I have to say,
events.
You don't know how wonderful it is to hear our customers actually say that.
I think it's also the fact that some of the use cases that he's mentioned, we haven't even thought about previously.
Correct.
So I think obviously as an early adopter, for a fact that we will be there to support you through that journey. So of course, if you are getting your partners involved as well, and you want them to, also have the same successes that you're seeing, we'd be more than happy to support you along that journey, Tim.
Yeah, but look, I think one of the key things as well, we've tried out many different solutions that are maybe they lack stability. So I think, you know, Amir, you mentioned and you talked a bit on the technology build up that was done for this solution, and that's key.
I lost hair because of it.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. All my
let's not go down the hair jokes, yeah.
I'm beginning to get worried.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go.
It's okay.
But jokes aside, I mean, it's there's so many solutions out there. You have to have something stable if you're going to scale. And that's what companies out there want to do, right? You want to get into multiple markets. You want to scale. You need something that is effective. It's good. It gets the clicks. People open it up, and you get the reach. It's got to be stable.
Absolutely.
So super happy with it.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tim, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Very nice
Thanks,
to have you.
Tim.
Really,
Great to
thank you.
Nice guys.
Always a
Cheers.
pleasure to see you,
Thank
man.
The drinks invite extends to you as well, by the way. I assume that was a given.
Yeah. So, look, guys, that's all I've personally got time for today. I think you've seen the platform, you've seen how it works. Another huge thank you to Tim and to Andrew, who joined us, of course,
Thank you,
today.
guys.
And for this last segment, we'll just pass back to Mina to see us off for the evening.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. Thank you, gents. That was awesome. So yes, we're about time to kind of wrap up. So before we conclude the session, I want to take a minute just to thank the viewers who are still on the live stream that have made it to this point.
If they're still there.
If they're still there, if you've made it to this point in the launch event, then firstly, thank you very much. Secondly, you'll be glad that you did, because we have a special something in store for you. Okay, so for those of you still tuned in, we have a launch day promo for all of our people watching. So if you go to www.avidio.com right now, we are now officially live, by the way. You would have just seen the registration page up until today. So platforms live, websites live, all that kind of good stuff. If you subscribe to any one of our plans, including our free trial, which, by the way, includes 50 video credits as part of it anyway, we will give you automatically an additional 50 video credits.
I don't recall that landing on my
Did you
desk.
run that past K?
I think I did, but I think I might have given you a couple of whiskies before I
check our
brought
budgets later on.
So, by the way, guys, 1 credit equals 1 video. So it's the equivalent of 100 free videos, 50 that you get with the free trial, plus an additional 50 as part of registering online today. More than enough to really get you going. The best part about this is you don't need any promo code. You don't need to fill out any forms. There's no secret handshake when you go to the website. Just go and register, and then we will be tracking. I think that's how we're doing it. So we'll be tracking all of the signups that happen today, and we'll be automatically applying those credits retroactively afterwards. For those of you who are maybe watching this as a recording in a few days from now, we've got you guys covered as well. So anybody who signs up from tomorrow, the 16th of September, through until the end of September, we'll be crediting your accounts with 20 additional free credits. So it works in exactly the same way. Now, lastly, if you are watching this and you're thinking, I love everything that I've seen, but I've got an event that's just around the corner, and I don't have time to sign up and learn a new platform and all the kind of usual stuff that comes with SaaS-based tools, then I have some good news for you. We have a white glove service. So if you would like for us to actually do all the heavy lifting and curate the videos on your behalf,
It's not that heavy, but
it's not that heavy. We're more than happy to take on that task. So we also have an option that allows for you to request that on our website. So just go to avidio.com, look at our plans, look at White Glove, give us details of the campaign that you want to run, and we'll make it happen. Now, of course, we can't wrap without firstly saying a big thank you to the people that made this all possible, our engineering team. So they've spent sleepless nights making this a reality. We're super proud of the end product, and we obviously wouldn't have been here had it not been for them.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to thank them all individually by name. There's quite a few, so I want to make sure that I don't forget anyone. So gents, feel free to step in and remind me if I forget. So to Harleen, to Eric, to Harry, to Alex, to Lynn, to Roy, to Dang, to Hien, to Johan. Have I missed anybody? I think that's all of them. I think that's the old
everybody.
team. A very, very heartfelt thank you from myself,
Thank
from
you.
Kay, from Amir.
Yeah.
Really, we couldn't be prouder of what you guys have built. We can't wait to see what else we can build together.
Did we say Cody?
And Cody. Sorry, Cody, you forgot to mention him. Arguably the most important member of the team. So with that, guys, I think we're about ready to close out and go grab ourselves a few drinks. So remember, a video is your narrative uniquely delivered. Thank you very much for tuning in. We can't wait to see your videos out in the wild.
Yep.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye-bye.